Hello everyone, Tim Gamer here, and today I have the pleasure to bring you another one of my Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplays. Now, today's gameplay is something a little bit redonkulous. As you guys can probably tell from the title, I get 9,895 points, I think it is, with the S12 in this multi-team hardpoint game, and it is a great game. I was so close to getting 10,000 points. As you see right at the end of the video, I have 2 kills right at the end where I get assists instead of getting those kills, and that would have pushed me over that magical 10,000 point barrier, and getting that with the S12 would have been fantastic. But I'm still so pleased with how this gameplay went, because of all the maps I enjoy and do very well on normally, Meltdown isn't particularly high up that list. You know, if you look through my past set of games, which I obviously have on my hard drive, there are not a lot of incredible Meltdown games. So this is one of the reasons why this game gave me so much pleasure, is because, you know, I can do well on standoff or raid or slums, you know, with my eyes closed, because I know the spawns and the maps are perfect for my playstyle, and it just naturally feels easy for me. When you get a game like this on a map which you're uncomfortable with, it makes it feel even better. I mean, I so thoroughly enjoy getting this game. You know, with the weapon, obviously it's not the best shotgun in the world, so I was absolutely thrilled with this. And I mentioned very briefly, quite a way back now, what I would use on the S12 and how to run it. But if you guys missed that video, which the chances are you did, I'm going to give you a quick little run through of what my class is here. Now, I always run the S12 with primary gunfighter. It is a weapon that desperately needs it. And I run it with laser sight, with long barrel, and with fast mags. And I think that triple combination is definitely the best combination for this weapon, because it lacks that one-hit power to, you know, compete with weapons like the R8, which would just turn the corner and drop you. That's why the long barrel is really useful for kills just like that, when you kill people on the extreme of your range. Obviously, laser sight's virtually mandatory with shotguns. You know, you turn the corner, you want to have that good hip fire so you can spray him down, having that little bit of safety net, and then obviously fast mags, because the one thing every single kill has in common here is I use minimum 3, 4, 5 bullets a kill, and it might actually kill him on the first shot, but you can't take that chance with the S12. You've got to put 4 or 5 bullets down range just in case, because every now and again you'll run into a guy who will chew the first 3 shotgun shells you fire at him, and you'll need that 4th shell to kill him. So if you get into the habit of just repeatedly putting rounds down range, it's a good one to get into with the S12, because if you do miss that shot, or your 3rd shot doesn't kill him, you've got the 4th, you've got the 5th coming down range, and then you've got the fast mags to quickly get that ammo stash back up to max again, and then you're ready for the next enemy, and so on and so forth. So this is a great combination to run with the S12, and this is what I'd sincerely recommend you running it with, because it is a weapon that feels underpowered a lot of the time. When it's in its very specific niche, which is, in my opinion, rushing objectives and being very obviously tightly compact objectives and flanking, it can absolutely devastate. But this is not a weapon which forgives you for getting caught out. You know, if you get caught out with the R8, occasionally you can pull something off. With the S12, if you get caught out of position or out of range, you are dead with this thing. And you know, this is what makes it rewarding for me to play. And that grenade kill was pretty funny. He dropped right on my head, and I'd have no idea how he didn't see me there. But this is what makes the S12 especially rewarding or challenging. So I really do entreat you guys to give it a go. It is a very interesting weapon, and you don't see a lot of people use it. You know, you see a lot of people go for that R8. Occasionally some of the mentalists like to run the KSG, but apart from that, I have to say S12 is a fantastic weapon to run. But you know, there's a couple of things I want to quickly talk about. Firstly, I just want to let you guys know, because you know, I've been telling you, keeping you up to date with my university workload. Good news is I got an essay back today. Nice solid 2-1 mark on that, so I'm pretty pleased. I also handed another essay in today, so that's 2 down, 2 to go. I've got 1 more in for Friday, which it's only a 2,000 word one. You know, it isn't a chunky essay by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, obviously it still requires proper work and proper time. I'm not just going to poop it out in 3 hours and hand it in. You know, it's not what you do with your degree. So I'm going to be working on that this week, but the good news is I've sort of broken the back of the work I have to do now. You know, I'm going to be slowly transitioning to start revision. I've already started, you know, getting my notes together and so on and so forth with that. But you know, my exams aren't for another month and a week, I think. Actually, I tell a lie. My first exam is a month yesterday. I think it's on the 21st, which is 2 days after my birthday. Typical, every single year I get exams after my birthday. But the good news is I've sort of broken the back of the work I have to do. Obviously, I've got to revise, but the good thing about revision is there's no real hard and fast deadline. You know, you don't have to do 3,000 words of revision by the end of the day, or you're going to be shot at dawn. You know, it doesn't work like that. You can be flexible, you can fit it in around, and that means, you know, the videos are going to be pretty regularly coming, because the awkward thing about this week was I've got 2 essays in for the week, so I've been spending the last 2 weeks or so doing work, preparing, reading, etc, etc, etc. It was just that time of the year where it all caught up, but hopefully you guys understand. I mean, I really don't want to risk throwing my degree away for the sake of, you know, a couple of FIFA channels or a couple of FIFA commentaries, because at the end of the day, you know, FIFA's still going to be there for me when my degree's finished. You know, I'm still going to have this channel, I'm still going to upload, it's still going to be there. What won't be there is a second opportunity to do this degree properly, so I want to get a nice solid mark. I'm well on the way for a good high 2-1, which is I'm very, very pleased with at the moment, so want to keep up that standard, want to see if I can improve it a little bit. And, you know, it'll be so much more rewarding then to have that degree in place, and then I can move on at FIFA or whatever and get this channel onto the next level. But that's enough of me waffling on about my exams. I just want to mention Hardpoint briefly, because obviously you guys can see this is a multi-team Hardpoint gameplay on Meltdown, and if you guys play a lot of Hardpoint and you keep up with the patches that Treyarch release every now and again, you would have noticed a change to the Hardpoint Spawns in the last big patch released to Black Ops 2, and I have to say, I don't know what you've done, Treyarch, but you have totally ruined the spawns. They are broken. The game mode is broken now, because what you'd used to have is a situation where you could manipulate the spawns to get the enemy to spawn away from the objective. Now, this wasn't spawn trapping, you know, they weren't spawning repeatedly in front of you and getting mown down, but you could control the spawns in such a way to ensure that the enemy always spawned away and exactly where you wanted them, but obviously you're not exploiting, you're not deliberately popping in and out of cover so you can kill them as soon as they spawn. You're just controlling the map so you can control the objective nice and easily. And what this rewarded, it was rewarded teams who worked together. Because if you could communicate, and if you've got players in the right positions, you could lock down objectives. And there's so many times, you know, in a full party, we've won Hardpoint games 250 to 0 or 250 to single figures because we were a little bit slow in transition. But they have completely destroyed that. The spawns are just infuriatingly terrible in Hardpoint now. There is no rhyme or reason to anything. All of a sudden, the enemies on a little flick of a finger will spawn behind you, and it won't be one, it'll be the entire team. So they'll be coming at you and you'll be killing them, you'll be nicely set up on the objective, then boom, they've spawned on your backside, all of you are dead, and there's nothing you can do about it. Unless you literally have a guy watching your back the entire time, you are going to get caught out in Hardpoint, and it's such a massive, massive shame, because Hardpoint, it's my favourite game mode. It's taken over from Domination. I absolutely love this game mode. You know, it's high impact, it's active, it's always fast paced, it's mobile, you can use a variety of different weapons, it's really interesting, it has a great team dynamic. You know, I love this game mode, and the spawn change has just torn the heart out of it, and I'm so disappointed. Treyarch, please, 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 just leave the spawns as they were. Leave them as they were. There was nothing wrong with them. I don't know why you've changed them in the first place, to be honest. You know, in some game modes, the spawns are a little bit dodgy every now and again. Hardpoint was definitely not one of them. Please, please change them back, because these spawn changes have torn the heart out of such a great game mode. They've made some maps just unplayable, because the spawns are so freaking random that there's no point trying to set up. It's just a mad bull rush, and the person who gets lucky in that first gunfight captures the hard point, and it's just people spawn on your backside, and it's just a mess. So please, please, Treyarch, please change them back. You've just destroyed this game mode, and it's such a shame, because I love Hardpoint. But anyway, guys, I hope you've really enjoyed the commentary. As you can see, it's coming to an end. The final score, I think, is something like 64 and 14 for a grand total of 9,895 points. Just missing out on that 10,000 point mark. But either way, it is a really good gameplay with the S12. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really do hope you try the S12 out. And as always, have a great day.